Hello.
Hola.
Welcome.
Woo!
Welcome.
Another episode
Of pineapple.
and lemon.
We switched it around.
We
on
switched
ya.
it. Plot twist. Who said it?
We'll never know. I'm very excited to be watching this TV show today with you, Christina.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Why?
It's because we're doing Lost. I would say this is a bit of a notorious show because some people really dislike the ending of this show.
Yeah.
Have you watched Lost before?
Yeah, well, I've seen the last 2 seasons.
Okay.
I just like jumped right on in.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. Yep, this is happening. Shed some tears. I will stand with the side that did not like the ending. I was really confused by it, and I'm still really confused by it to this day. But I am excited to watch from the beginning, so then everything will make sense for me now.
I did not watch Lost when it was live, but I had been told my whole life that Lost has a terrible ending. That's the only thing I ever knew about this show. And then maybe like 4 years ago now, I sat down and I watched the whole thing through, and I absolutely love this show.
Okay.
This is one of my most fun viewing experiences of a TV show I've ever had. There's so much character work in this. There's so many questions and theories and what's going on, what's happening. And I stand by the fact that the ending is not that bad. So the pilot episode of Lost, the first episode, was the most expensive TV show episode at the time that it was filmed.
2004. What, it didn't beat out Doctor Who's 2005?
The
mannequins.
Oh boy. So I do think the pilot episode of the show is a great piece of television. Like, there's some episodes of Lost that are top tier, like some of the best stuff that is made for television. If we want to give just a quick overview of what this series is actually about.
Yeah, go for it.
Since we've been talking about everything else except for like
what it's actually about. We've been like avoiding the big like this is the plot twist.
So the IMDb summary for the TV show of Lost is: the survivors of a plane crash are forced to work together in order to survive on a seemingly deserted tropical island. I think the show does start off in a way where you're like, this is just like a survival show, like drama, but they do pepper in enough in the first episode that you are understanding that there's clearly more going on with the storyline.
Yeah. This intro, like the title just makes me feel like I don't have my glasses on.
I know,
it's all fuzzy.
And it's such like low grade.
Like, wait, are my glasses working? Do I need to go to back to the optometrist?
I love it.
It's a dog!
I told you there's a dog.
Nymeria, there's a dog in the show.
Oh, we do have puppies here today in case there's any interruptions.
There are puppies.
But they're pretty quiet right now.
Right now. You're going to jinx it, and now
Yeah,
they're going to get really rambunctious.
We can also talk about the sound design on the show and music cues. Ooh boy, there's some good stuff in here.
Like the music is just like really adding to like the atmosphere, and it's just like it knows exactly when to hit and how to hit.
And like the characters get their own themes and stuff too. Like it's scored like a movie. Oh, we could talk all day about the setting for this show too.
Was it in Hawaii?
Oh yeah, it was.
It is beautiful.
Sign me up. I want to do a Lost tour one day.
Let's just go to Hawaii.
Yes.
Dominic, get away from the engine. Don't know who that is. Let's stand and scream.
Oh, you don't know so many of these characters. It's so strange.
Is that Sean Bean?
Every single movie. He's got to go.
He's apparently signed a contract. This is like no dying contract. Yeah, so he won't do any more films that make him die.
I mean, it's his thing at this point.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move it.
Seriously, move it.
Move it.
Get running, Jack.
Jorge, you were supposed to move the pregnant lady. Well, salvage what you can from the plane.
Yeah, a lot of this first season does deal with like how do you actually survive on an island. Like that's more the focus. I do really like the first season a lot.
Yeah.
It's less of the whole like mystical elements that the show like gets into more later. It is more like straightforward, more of a mystery drama, I guess.
Putting normal people in this kind of a scenario is really interesting because like way back in the day, obviously we knew how to, survive. But nowadays
No one has the
no
skills.
no one has these skills. Like, we don't know how to build a fire from nothing or like hunt and forage. Like, we don't know what we can, eat and not eat. Like, but even like 50, 100 years ago, we knew how to do that.
Yeah, and even so, like, the odds of like one of the passengers who survived as a doctor, like, you're not guaranteed that. Like,
yeah, really. Like, I think that's super lucky that like you have a doctor. That's just luck. That's just luck.
yeah.
Oh no! Okay, that's why the score is fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael Giacchino. Oh, fuck. He also did the music for Star Trek, so he's definitely really good friends with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Do you have a second? I could use a little help here.
You know you're meet cute when you meet a new guy and he wants you to sew up his skin.
Sew me up.
Also Damon Lindelof, who went on to do the new Watchmen, which is very well done. And he did The Leftovers, which is a show I want Christina to watch.
You're doing fine.
He says, trying to hold back tears.
I'm in so much pain.
You're doing fine.
As if I'm gonna start eating chocolate.
Yeah, like, what are your options here?
I'm a vegan. I'll eat a plant.
I don't trust anything on this island.
I wouldn't either.
내가 어디로 가든지 꼭 따라와.
This was a big deal too on like Prime TV, having characters that didn't speak English and having to have subtitles.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't normally see something like that back in the day.
That was weird, right?
Is that Vincent?
Yeah, that was the dog making all that noise.
I understand what they're trying to go for the shaky cam, but like I can't like figure anything out.
I mean, it's a plane crashing.
I understand that, but I'm trying to figure like where is everybody in relation to like who's sitting where.
Oh, you'll get into that the rest of the season. Don't worry about it. We flash back to a lot of the same things from different perspectives.
Oh, okay. Not funny. That's just creepy. It's trying to be funny, but it's not funny.
He's trying to break the tension. Kate's not having it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it. Like, that's just weird. Is the dog the child's dog?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say, is the dog the child? Like, of who?
Plot twist.
Was he like a main character when you were watching, or was it all messed up at that point?
He was like I could definitely tell that he was a main character, but he was very more aggressive.
Okay, it was messed up at that point then. Why did they all three need to go in there at one time?
I don't think they all needed to go in. If you notice that it was starting to make a noise, then it was probably a good idea to stop.
Even just to have one person outside in case something happens, you know?
Yeah, right?
But Jack's gotta be the hero. That's his character flaw.
Always has to be the hero.
Really cool noises though for the monster. Like, not your typical...
Well, I think like it's great how they did that because it doesn't give away like what the monster is.
You have no idea what it is at this point. If it's even a monster.
Yeah,
like,
I don't even like I have no idea. It's like this is definitely not in the later seasons. So I don't even know.
We have to go back for him.
Go back.
that's an awkward way to hold up your neck. The way he's sitting right now.
Right?
Just like...
It's a lot of core work.
Lost.
Bum, bum, bum. Like that's it?
It's a 2-part pilot.
It's a 2-part pilot?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you want to do the second part?
Yeah. I'm invested at this point.
You know what it is?
Probably a baby. If I had to take a guess.
Oh, that's fun. Who's the
Ooh.
convict? Is it Sawyer?
This is so funny that you don't know. Like, it's just such an interesting thing. I'm gonna give you 3 guesses. Who do you think the convict is?
I guess my first guess was Sawyer.
Okay. 2 more.
I don't know. It's
Out
not
of-
Charlie.
And I'm not telling you who it is.
I know you're not going to tell me who it is, but like,
I just want your
know,
guesses.
Like, do I know the character?
Yes.
Okay.
So I just want to hear your guesses, just out of curiosity's sake.
Looney Tune with the orange. Locke, I think is his name.
His name is Locke.
Okay, so those are my only 2 guesses so far from the characters I've met.
Okay, we'll see if anyone else kind of piques your interest, I
This is
guess.
fun. Yeah, no, definitely Sawyer. Can I put 2 votes in for Sawyer? 'Cause I'm fairly
Those are your 2.
We're all in this together, man. Let's treat
We're all in this together.
Everyone except Sawyer.
Yeah, really. Top of the mountain. Oh, it just keeps going. And going.
And
Oh, there we go.
Backgammon's the oldest game in the world.
Can we fact check that, please?
Yeah, I'll just go back in time for you and I'll ask around.
Yeah, can we work on that, please?
Do you feel that?
Oh, Lord.
As a baby.
There was a baby in there. It got woken up by the seafood.
She's not supposed to have.
Circumstances and all.
Doctor would be mad.
Jack's not here.
Guys, this isn't just a bear. It's a polar bear.
Called it.
Why is
I called it.
a polar bear
Why is there a polar bear in Hawaii?
on a tropical island?
Oh, on a tropical
All these
island.
mysteries.
Bum, ba, ba.
Hey, guy, you awake?
Did anyone just try asking him if he was awake?
Where did that come from?
Probably Bear Village.
The Bear Village. Good old Bear Village.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A lot twist.
You didn't guess that one.
I did not.
Are you shocked?
No, I mean, I'd like to know, like, what she did.
Oh, they definitely get into that.
Someone else stranded here?
Maybe they're still alive on the island.
For 16 years?
Maybe they went all Tarzan.
Where are we?
Well, ain't that the question, Charlie?
Well, you're not in the Shire anymore.
Ain't that the question?
Bum, bum, bum.
There's your pilot.
There we go. Episode 1.
What are your thoughts
Lost.
on seeing this part of the series? The first episode.
It definitely, like, it's interesting to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, kind of cool to, like, build onto, like, how did they get to the point where I came in and watched them for the first time? Because I'm like, oh my God, all the characters are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of characters right now.
Yes.
Whereas when I watched it, there was, like, maybe, like, less than 10.
Yeah, they really whittle it down as it goes on.
Yeah.
For various reasons. Like, it's not just...
They all got killed off.
No, it's not all that. I'll say that at least. But off just watching that first episode, though, like, would you be convinced as a viewer, like, oh, I want to continue on with this?
Yeah, I definitely would. Like, there's a lot. Like, they've set up a lot, and the way that they've done it is, like, in a way that you just want to know more.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, that's cool, but expand on it. Like, I want to know, like, how is it going to play out? Like, why is there a polar bear on a tropical island? They're going to find the convict, and then everyone's going to start screaming at each other. Chicky Poo's going to have her baby.
Yes.
How's that going to go?
Mm-hmm.
What is Charlie going to do when he runs out of his drugs, and then he's going to have to go through withdrawal? Because he's definitely not rationing it. Like, it's just really interesting. Like, are they gonna find the dog? Like, there's a lot of, like, it has a lot of setup.
There's, like, the overarching goal, which is to get off the island, but then each character has their own individual, like, thing that they're trying to accomplish. And with that, there's, like, mystery elements throughout it too. So there's, like, there is payoff. Like, you're like, who is the convict? They told you who the convict was this episode. So it's not like they're drawing some of this stuff out for, like, you know, like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, clearly, like, the big mysteries, I guess, don't really get resolved until much later on.
But, like, it almost doesn't feel like, you know, like you've been waiting for it, because they have like giant mysteries, right? But then they have, like, smaller ones that do get solved fairly regularly, so it keeps you satisfied and it keeps you wanting more, and then eventually they get to the payoff. But, like, you almost have to think of it like a puzzle, right? Like, that's figuring out the big ones. Like, that's, you got to complete the puzzle. In order to complete the puzzle, you have to put all these other smaller pieces together.
Yeah. I am a bigger fan of the earlier seasons because I think it gets kind of caught up in its own lore, or it gets kind of weighed down later on. But this first season especially is so, like, it's a drama survivalist show. There are these other interesting, like, elements that are making you curious about what's going on, but it's not relying too heavily on the sci-fi aspect of it. So I do really enjoy the first season a lot. Any other thoughts you have?
I'm probably gonna have to finish watching it, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my Once Upon a Time binge, but then I think that I'll probably get into this just to kind of, like, fill in the gaps.
I think it's worth it, to be honest, because you've already done the part that people say is their least favorite.
Yeah.
So
I go back and do the good parts now.
Yeah, like you didn't get to see the best part of the show, essentially. Like,
yeah.
So it's probably a nice way to just to understand, like fill in the gaps, and you get to learn about there's characters here that you met for the first time that you kind of know how their story gets resolved, but you might not understand exactly like how it fits.
Yeah. Well, like, even we were talking about it a bit earlier, just kind of like while we're getting all set up, and it was like interesting because like listening to your perspective on the ending almost like makes you like it allowed me to think of it in a different way. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe I would like I'll go back and I'll rewatch it, and the ending probably wouldn't seem as bad if I take a different approach to it than how I originally took it. Because when I first watched it, because I mean, maybe it was because I only watched like 2 seasons. Yeah. But like when I watched it live, I was just like, I went and I texted my friend. I was like, girl, I don't know what just happened. And she's like, yeah, nobody really understands the ending, but like this is what we think happened. But yeah, it kind of sucked. I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. And that kind of was just like, that stayed with me. But you know, like your theory on it, or like your viewpoint on it was like, okay, this is actually interesting. So I think it's definitely like a different way of looking at it and makes it not seem as horrible.
Yeah, so like I was saying before, everyone always told me like this is bad, like definitively this is terrible, the ending to Lost. So my expectations going into it were pretty low, and I think that might have helped with how I viewed everything, because after watching it I'm like, this is not bad. Like Lost is a character driven show. Like that's the thing that they've always talked about, and it's about the characters. So the way that I kind of viewed the ending is it's more poetic than it is literal. So I think a lot of it was like, how do we give a happy ending to these characters that people have loved throughout the years? And the way that they wrap up the series, this was kind of the only way to do it, because of how many people along the way are not there at the end in real life.
Well, I think that was like the most confusing part too. Was it was like, but this person and that person, how does this happen, when like it just got really complicated.
Yeah.
But then like thinking back, like when I try to recall what like exactly happened during the last episode, it's like, okay, yeah, it looking at it poetically, it does make sense. Like this, like you said, is the best way to give everybody like a happy ending. But when I think about like what like like this is what the island was supposed to represent, still doesn't make sense to me.
No, and I really don't think like you're supposed to take it literally. Like that's how I perceive it. It's like there's not like definitive answers for a lot of it. But I also find that this show is rewarding, that you do get answers throughout it. So it's not just like the entire time you're getting nothing. You do get answers as the show goes on. So that's also an interesting way of watching the show.
I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, there's so many characters. I'm like, what happened to all of them? Like, that's my biggest thing. I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to just watch and find out.
And it's different for every person. Like, even just running through it in my head, I'm like, this happens to this person. Like, it's not just everyone dies. So, which
is what I originally thought. I'm like, what? You're gonna kill off the dog and you're gonna kill off this little boy? Like, you're gonna kill off the baby? Like what? Like, why?
Like, there are character deaths for sure, and that was a big thing too. With like, they pretty much told the actors like someone's gonna die in the first season, but they didn't say who. So every time they would get a script, they would like read through it and be like, "Am I dying this week?" Like they really didn't know where they were going.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of like, I think it's pretty great they stuck the landing as well as they did, because there was so much weight to the show and having to wrap it all up.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you start
to
think about where the show goes. The directions it takes.
I would not have wanted to be in that room trying to figure out like, okay, this is our idea. There's 7 million ideas that we could go along with it, but we got to streamline it into one and properly conclude it. Like, how?
Yeah, it's such like, a big scope.
That's insane.
Yeah, I could talk more about Lost, but I don't want to spoil anything if you're gonna go ahead with it.
I'm gonna go ahead with it, and then maybe once I finish season 1 we can have another recap.
Yeah, definitely let us know, because that's something I would for sure want to do, like talk more Lost, because I feel like I missed out on a lot of that discussion, because I watched it later.
Definitely a show that you have to watch with somebody so you can have that discussion, because I definitely think that like if you just watch it, you're like, but I have so many theories and ideas, and that's part of it, right? That's the experience. You got to share that, and you got to build on it. because someone might have a completely different theory or viewpoint than you, but then that'll just enhance your experience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's just something about the show. Like I said, it was like one of my favorite shows just to watch because it's so entertainment wise, it's just so interesting that you want to keep watching and figuring stuff out. And whether or not, if you're one of those people that don't think the payoff's worth it, like that's fine. But I think the journey watching the show outweighs maybe how some people felt at the ending. Like I don't think this show is not worth watching because some people don't like the ending.
Yeah, I mean, like, worst case, just don't watch that last episode.
Yeah. Or like you do, it's not gonna be like, it's not gonna ruin the rest of the series.
No, I think like it just for me it just gave me a lot more questions. But again, I also didn't watch it from episode 1, so I think that now going through and like when I get to that point, I'm gonna have a completely different opinion of that final episode because everything's just gonna make more sense to me.
Yeah, and you'll just have more time to like ruminate on like what is actually happening. Because yeah, watching it like over the course of 6 years, I wouldn't be able to piece it together.
No, I think it's completely different because you get to just sit and binge it, and then once you've binged it in like a really short amount of time, while everything's nice and fresh in your mind, it's gonna make so much more sense.
Yes, I am a very firm believer that people should watch Lost. I think it's great TV, and I say at least give it a try.
There you go. You heard it from Lemon.
You put it on her first.
You heard her first. Put it on.
Watch Lost.
Watch it.
But yeah, if you've watched Lost before, if you want to talk about it in the comments for sure, let us know because I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, if you think we should do another react or if we should just, I don't know, make this the continuation, we'll just watch it all together.
Watch more Lost.
All of it. And then we can discuss it in depth.
Thank you for watching with us. We hope you enjoyed the video.
It's been a slice.
If you want, you can subscribe to see more of our videos coming down the pipeline.
The pipeline. That's so weird.
Sorry, let me take it again.
Let us know if there's any TV shows or movies that you would like us to review and give our 2 cents opinions on.
And we hope to catch you on the next one. See you later.
See ya!